Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today and watching this video. And this is a really special video. Today, we're going to be looking at Thanksgiving. So this is going to be my group reading for the American Thanksgiving. Back in October, I did my first Thanksgiving reading for the Canadian Thanksgiving. Well, I couldn't let this amazing opportunity to have a second helping of this amazing, abundant energy. I wanted to do something different than what I did in October. And October's reading was fantastic and supportive. However, I wanted to look at a different aspect of Thanksgiving for my American friends. Given a second chance at this, let's do it in a different way. So today we're going to be focusing in on gratitude. This is a spread that I created for this reading to look at what's going right and how we can amplify these amazing aspects and pieces that are going right in our lives. Focusing in on the positive, nurturing, and allowing it to grow, well, it only benefits us in the long run. So I wanted to look at where we need to focus our energies. And like always, I have a link below to this spread so that you can refer to it in the future and as you need. Now, as you can tell, there's going to be a lot of decks again. I like to play with my decks, and it's important to have some fun with tarot and oracle cards. We don't need to be strict and traditional. Let's have some fun with this. So the basis, I do have the good tarot. I had to go with something that was light and, well, focused in on the positive. To add on to that, I chose the Everyday Witches Oracle and then the Chakra Wisdom Oracle as well. And to top things off, I'm going to go with, of course, the Food Fortune Tarot. I love that deck, and I found it playful and fun at the end of my October reading, so I wanted to top this reading off in the same fun and insightful way. Of course, I have links below to all these fantastic decks, so should any of them speak to you, you can go check them out for yourselves. The selections I have for this reading, I have Rose Quartz, Healerite, and Auralite. I want you to choose whichever crystal resonates with you the most right now, and then head into the description box below. There you're going to find some timestamps. Click on that correlating timestamp. It's going to take you straight to your reading, and I will see you there, my friends. Hello and welcome, my Rose Quartz friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of all the tarot and oracle cards, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. All right, without further ado, let's see what Thanksgiving and gratitude has for my Rose Quartz friends. So, of course, we're going to start off on question 1. What is going right in my Rose Quartz friends' lives? The Five of Earth, or the Five of Pentacles. It's such a beautiful card. The Five of Earth talks about that connection. We've been working hard on our connections. The Five of Pentacles, or the Five of Earth, talks about a disconnection. Here, we're looking at how we've been working on it. We've been trying to strengthen our relationships with our current physical team and our spiritual team. Those connections are vital for us to move forward, to find fulfillment and meaning in what we're doing. We need that support, as this journey was never meant to be alone. We were never to do this by ourselves. We need that physical support team and, of course, our spiritual support team to help us out, to guide us, to encourage us. Now, of course, we've been working on it. It's not something that we are going to be able to say, yeah, check, done. It's going to be an ongoing process, continuing to strengthen relationships with current and new physical supports, and of course, our ongoing spiritual supports, working on and strengthening our abilities to connect in with them, to receive their messages and their guidance. We've started and done some amazing work. We need to keep moving forward on it. It's starting to emerge, and we need to allow it to nurture and grow so it flourishes. This connection to the spiritual and physical teams will help create stability in your life and theirs. Let's go on to question 2. What areas of my rose quartz, apparently it's that one, rose quartz friends' lives are they ignoring? However, they should be focusing in on. That avoidance, it's a pesky thing. The Hermit was so impatient, he needed out. The 9th card in the Major Arcana, and of course we're looking at that inner journey, that inner work. Many of us struggle with that because it is scary. We don't want to work on ourselves. We don't want to work on those deep shadowy areas. That's scary. We need to continue to focus in on those aspects of self, no matter how dark and scary it may feel. The better we know ourselves, the more we're able to connect into skills and aspects that we've forgotten, that are going to help us in on our journey. That inner work is essential. We need to live a life of authenticity and being ourselves. We can't without understanding ourselves. We need to take those deep breaths and do a little bit of work here and there. We don't have to do a mind-blowing exploration that takes hours. Those baby steps, they're going to go a long way in helping us to connect in with us and all our amazing aspects that we've hidden deep within ourselves. And of course, there is a meditation I brought out weeks ago that would be fantastic. It was a meditation I did with Archangel Uriel. He can help light up these darker places, help rekindle those passions and connections. It's a fantastic, easy meditation. It's about 30 minutes. Like I said, we don't need a long period of time where you're spending weeks and months meditating and making connections with self. That can be overwhelming and can limit what we're going to do because we'll have resistance, and a lot of it, to spending that much time on trying to connect in. We become frustrated. Small baby steps help with that connection, which then helps with the connection with others because we understand ourselves more fully. Let's go on to question 3. What areas of my rose quartz friends' lives should they nurture for their greater good? I absolutely love the imagery of the Good Tarot. I don't love how big and clumsy these cards are. I don't have the biggest hands, so these bigger decks, they're not as much fun to shuffle. And when you don't have that fun and that ability, because your hand span does not go across the deck well, they're not cards you use a lot, and that's a shame. The Page of Air. Such a fantastic card. Also known as the Page of Swords. We need to focus in on that fun and play, and of course, that exploration and inquisitivity. We need to find those answers that are going to ignite our understanding of self, our journey, and of course, others. That playful, inquisitive energy it goes a long way in, well, uncovering what we need to know. That knowledge, it's going to set us free. Understanding helps us to, well, clear that pathway. Find those amazing opportunities and possibilities that are all around us. And that's when we can start to embrace them and incorporate them even more. So what we need to focus in on and nurture is that playful energy. It's going to kind of connect the dots in the other areas. When we have that playful, inquisitive energy and allow it to guide us, we are more able to find that fulfillment that we're looking for and needing in our lives. So let's go on to question 4. What will support my rose quartz friends most in their growth and development? The World, the 21st card in the Major Arcana, the ending and beginning card. We need to embrace all that we've learned, all that we've done and overcome. Celebrate it, who we are and what we know, and then get excited for that next stage, for that continuation, for that growth. When we celebrate and have that excitement, and of course that play and fun, that's when growth and development, it's not so challenging. It's not mundane and, oh, do I really need to do that? It's more fun, it's rewarding, and you see its meaning. You have that fulfillment and are rewarded with abundances and, of course, those manifestations that you've put out there. We need to celebrate and highlight all that's going right in our lives, focusing in on that. That's going to help give us that stepping stone and stepping block onto where we want to go next, what we need to do, what's going to bring in that meaning and direction. That celebration and happiness, it's going to go far and help you with that growth and development. So this is the foundation of my gratitude spread. We're going to go on to the different rows. I'm going to start to use some different oracle decks to add on to this. Feel free to use whatever decks you have, and if you only have one deck, that's okay. The standard tarot deck has 78 cards, and there's plenty of cards to finish off this spread. Additionally, most oracle decks, they're averaging between, I believe it's like 35 to 52 cards. So you've got some cards to play with. I don't know of any oracle decks or many oracle decks that have under 12 cards. So you've got lots of cards to play with. I, however, love my decks, so I've got lots of them. For row 1, I'm going to be using the Everyday Witches Oracle. And row 1 has 2 questions. Please feel free to break this up if you want. However, because they flow so well together, I couldn't break them up. It didn't flow well in my reading. However, you may find it different. So for row 1, where should my rose quartz friends go from here? And what areas of their lives should they focus in on? Affirmation for healing the heart. That healing is so important. It helps to release us from some of that buildup that's holding us back, that's causing stagnation and resistance. It frees us up for this amazing and wonderful opportunities and possibilities. these aspects of self that need to grow and thrive. They need space. We only have so much space within ourselves to be able to hold. So we can't have everything. We need to release aspects and pieces that aren't serving us, that are just taking up space. They're cluttering things up and causing confusion. We need to clear things out so that we feel stronger. We feel healthier. When we heal our heart and that heart center, we're releasing some of that pain that's causing, stagnation. It's causing fear because we don't like it. We don't want to add to this pain. So we avoid it. When we heal it and release it, we are not overburdened or weighed down by it. So it's important that we release it. A number of months ago, I did a meditation with Archangel Metatron where we did release that pain. It's a fantastic meditation that's going to help you release and be open to receiving these positive aspects and pieces that are going to help you on your journey. I created these meditations to support you guys because I keep telling people, you need to heal. It's not as easily done as it is said, especially if you don't know what to do. Reliance on people can be challenging because, especially now, we aren't able to get out and connect in. If we have the ability to do some of this work ourselves, then we're able to rely on us, strengthening our abilities, strengthening our understanding of what we can do. The sun and stars. Of course, we're looking at that balance. We need to have that balanced, stable position to be able to embrace these opportunities and possibilities. Focusing in on that balance, on that stability, it's going to go a long way in our growth. We can easily destabilize ourselves as we hyper-focus in on stuff. That balance, it's essential. That's why I encourage people to take those baby steps, slow, steady, progressive steps that help you with that stability and maintaining that balance. That inner balance and stability, it is an essential aspect of going forward. Last week, I published a meditation with Archangel Cassiel on that balance. And it's a fantastic meditation that you can use, again, to your advantage when you're feeling unstable and unsure. It brings in that stability and balance within ourselves. Go with the flow. It's a lot easier to go with the energies and what's occurring around you and using it to your advantage. Using those tools, like the meditations, like your tarot cards, to your advantage. Because you're not resisting things. It takes more energy to resist than it does to accept. We don't want to become lemmings, but sometimes we have to critically think and assess if that resistance is necessary. Or is it ego-driven? And what we're trying to do is for our betterment rather than that stagnation. Our ego likes to resist change, evolution, and growth. All these aspects that are for our greater good. We need to check into it. We need to be sure of where that resistance comes from. We don't need to resist everything. We just need to make sure we're making decisions for our greater good. And that's why that knowledge is so important for you. So that's row 2. It's how you're going to step up and start going forward. And of course, this is not all going to happen on Thanksgiving, my friends. Don't worry, I'm not suggesting that you do. I think I've suggested 3 different meditations for you. No, this is the stepping stone. Thanksgiving has given us a time of reflection. This reflection helps us to understand how to go forward. This helps you to understand what to do for the next little while. until you get more direction on how to go forward. What's going to bring in more meaning and, of course, healing into your life. So now we're going to go on to row 2. And I'm going to switch decks again, and I'm going to go with the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. What will support my rose quartz friends most in their growth and development? Insecurity. Like I just said, that balance, that stability, it's an essential part of where we're going. We need to have that secured, balanced self. These cards are not playing nicely with me. That secure, balanced self to be able to gain the guidance, connect in, and be able to grow and flourish. When we have that stability, we're more able to embrace all these aspects. That insecurity, that's very much ego-driven. It impacts us and it causes stagnation. That's why this healing is so important. It lessens the hold that your ego has over you because it lessens its ability to bring up those past heartaches and fears. Just like as a child, we were afraid of the boogeyman. Well, most of us are not afraid of the boogeyman anymore. We know that there's not a monster hiding under our bed. We've been able to grow and to move away from that. We've gained knowledge to contrary that thought. We also have abilities, so should there be a monster under our bed, how to vanquish it quite quickly. And that vanquishment, well, it can easily come in with an archangel and his mighty sword, because Archangel Michael does not tolerate monsters under the bed. And if you have children, just so you know, it is one of the archangels that I initially introduced my children to, because that was a fear. Every child seems to have a fear that there's a monster in their closet or under their bed. Archangel Michael, he's a family favorite. He comes in and he ensures that my children are safe. They call him in because they know that Archangel Michael, he can overthrow and slay any monster that happens to come in. Back to that insecurity, that stability, it's essential for you. Maintaining and creating that stability within yourself and your life will go a long way in embracing these amazing opportunities, this amazing growth that is for you. Despondence. It's kind of a funny looking card, and it has a super important meaning. Despondence talks about how we hold the answers. We hold the world, same world, within ourselves. We just get caught up in all that craziness and, in some cases, those bindings that hold us back, that hold us from growing. We need to make decisions that are in our greater good, that allow us to cut free from some of these vines and allow us to continue to grow. It's in that growth that we're going to gain that fulfillment. We're going to gain more abundances and what we truly need in our lives. Trusting in you and your abilities, it's going to go a long way in trusting in the universe. Brings us right back down to the Hermit. Something that we've been resisting and something that we know we need to connect in with. I love it when my different decks really communicate and speak to each other and reinforce the messages that are being shared. And we're going to end off this reading with a little draw from one of my favorite decks. It's the Food Fortune Tarot. It's not a deck that I can use as a technical deck, but I can add a cherry on top of this reading for some fun. because that fun and play is so important. We're going to look at what we're missing and need to remind ourselves of the importance in our lives. Oh, sure, I put it on a whole bunch of cards. The Slurp. A little bit of rum in there. Such a great card. We can't be afraid of something different, something that maybe not culturally ours. We need to take pieces and aspects that cross cultures, cross timelines, and make it our own. It's part of understanding ourselves. When we understand what we can do, we can understand how we can add to it, how we can put some more, pizzazz in what we're doing. It adds more fun and color that we are looking for. It adds to what we can do and how we're working. We don't need to have that cookie cutter response. Actually, when we have that cookie cutter response, we usually lack fulfillment, connection, because we're just stamping it out. But that flair, that added pizzazz, it helps us connect into it. And we can't forget that. This is our journey, and it's not like anybody else's. We need to focus in on what's going to be important and meaningful for us. That connection, that brings in that fulfillment, which brings in that abundance, which brings in that happiness. And that's what we're truly looking for. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. And of course, I want to wish my American friends a happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I did creating it. It's fun, it's playful, and most importantly, it's insightful. I hope that you gain the insight and direction that you were looking for and helps you clarify where you need to go next. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It really does help people find me on the sea of YouTube and helps to strengthen our community. It helps to raise the vibration of more individuals that helps with that global collective vibration. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more coming your way. There is so much amazing coming out in the next 6 weeks, my friends. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. And if you did enjoy this video and want to support me in making more, I do have a Patreon page. And of course, I've got lots of tiers and perks. Those perks, you're looking at free readings and healings from me. Additionally, I also have a library of Patreon exclusive videos just for my supporters. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my rose quartz friends. Hello and welcome, my Healerite friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of all the tarot and oracle cards here, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Well, without further ado, let's look at gratitude and how it impacts my Healerite friends' lives. So of course, we're going to start off on question 1. What is going right in my Healerite friends' lives? The 5 of Earth. Such a pretty card. And of course, the 5 of Pentacles or the 5 of Earth, it usually talks about that disconnect, how we're feeling isolated. What's going right is our attempts to connect ourselves with our physical support team and our spiritual. we've been taking those small steps forward in reconnecting us with our team, making us feel more connected and loved. We have meaning in our lives, and we know we have that support. This is something that we want to continue to nurture, to continue to work on. Those baby steps, we need to make some more leeway and headway in what we're doing. We're still missing many messages and guidance from our high vibrational team, and there are still individuals on our physical support team that we want to strengthen our relationship with them. Taking time and nurturing all these relationships in their own right will go a long way in making you feel more connected and strengthening that support team that's going to help you through this lifetime. This is a journey that we were never meant to take alone, and we should not try. We need that support team more than ever. Focusing in on our relationships, well, it makes us feel better and it makes them feel better, raising everybody's vibration. Let's go on to question 2. What areas of my Healerite friends' lives are they ignoring? However, they should be focusing in on. I love this deck. I just find it really a pain to shuffle because the cards are so wide. Call, the 20th card in the Major Arcana, also known as Judgment. My cards are catching up to me. I just said that we need to continue to work on that relationship. We have an amazing support team in our high vibrational posse, and there are a lot of high vibrational beings who haven't quite joined our support team yet. Our vibration isn't high enough, and our connection with them isn't there. We need to have that full and dynamic team to support us in this experience. There are challenges that are going to come up that we're going to need their support with. Additionally, they're also going to help us sidestep some of these challenges that we don't need to experience. Their guidance and wisdom will go a long way in helping us, well, like I said, overcome those challenges and avoid ones that we don't want to get tangled up in. Additionally, they're going to help us realign ourselves to our soul's deeper path, our journey that we were meant to go on. Alignment means that we're going to gain more fulfillment and abundances, plus experiences and learning that we so desperately wanted to experience in this lifetime. That alignment is essential for us so that we do gain all that we can from this lifetime. So that connection, we still need to work on it. And don't be surprised if it's something that you have to work on throughout your lifetime. Our generation ended up severing our connections, and many of us abruptly, so we don't have that free-flowing connection that we once had, or that the generations that have come since have. They didn't shut down due to fear, due to threat. They're allowing their gifts and talents to naturally be nurtured and, well, grow. We have to backtrack and, well, catch up. We signed up for this. We signed up to be in this generation where we knew there was going to be a big disconnect, a lot of healing, reconnection, and then movement. We were the groundbreakers of, well, this experience and understanding and reconnection. We're supporting that next generation in thriving even more. So on to question 3. What areas of my Healerite friends' lives should they be nurturing for their greater good? page of Earth. I love this page. I love the fairy wings and the antlers with the pussy willow buds. It's just such a beautiful card. Like I said, I love these cards, but with my hand size, they're just too big. That's why you don't see them in a lot of readings. I struggle with shuffling them and getting them out properly. What we need to be focusing in on and nurturing is that playful, inquisitive energy. Our inner child, allowing it to come out and join us. Many of us are so caught up in being an adult and getting the bills paid and vacuuming and cleaning and doing that we forget to have fun. We forget that there's more to life than getting up and going to work, coming home and cleaning and doing the dishes and going to bed. We need to have that time for play and for discovery. Helps us with that connection to those higher vibrational beings and to ourselves. The more we're able to give back to ourselves in time and energy, the more we're going to get out of it. The more prosperity and abundance we'll see that growth and fulfillment increase as well. It's hard to do sometimes. Letting go, having a giggle, getting your hands dirty and playing in the mud will go a long way in your growth. The page also encourages you to ensure and be mindful of your grounding. We could have had any page, but we have the page of Earth or Pentacles. That grounding stability will go a long way in that connection and that understanding that we have. Taking time and ensuring we're grounded, making sure that we are proactive with our grounding, will help us throughout our day and will also help us to overcome some of those challenges. When we're grounded, we're more able to focus in and use all our faculties and are less likely to have that gut ego reaction and response. When we're using that high vibrational energy, we can take that deep breath, take a pause, and do some critical thinking. A quick assessment to gaining that correct answer and the resolution that you're looking for. So let's go on to question 4. How can my Healerite friends strengthen themselves so that they are more open to this growth? The 8 of Pentacles. You guys have a pentacle-tastic reading. Really connects into that grounding, reinforcing that need and benefit of grounding yourself, functioning from that stable foundation so that you remain in the high vibration, that you're able to build off of a positive, stable self that is grounded and supporting you and all these amazing opportunities that are arising. Now the 8 of Earth or the 8 of Pentacles, we're looking at focusing in on some details. Doing that hard work, making sure that we are producing that end result that is both functional and beautiful. That detail and precision is important. We can't just rush through this. We need to take time. We need that accuracy. We need that dedication. We have a lot of work to do, and it can feel overwhelming, and it can make us want to rush and get it done. Getting it done for getting it done's sake doesn't do anything for you. We need that detail. We need that understanding and mastery before we're going to be able to go to that next step. You will find yourself back at square one because you missed out on different aspects and pieces that you needed to connect in with. You repeat the pattern until you understand that it's not just trying to get it done, but it's getting it done correctly and with meaning. So that's the basis of the gratitude spread. We're going to build off of it now with some oracle cards. In the first row, I'm going to use the Everyday Witch's Oracle. Now, if you don't have a variety of decks, you can use the same deck. Now, in the average and normal tarot deck, you have a minimum of 78 cards. And most oracle decks, they're averaging between 45 and 52 cards. So you could easily do this spread with one deck. I don't know of any oracle deck that's under 12 cards. However, if you're like me and have a plethora of cards, have fun. I don't want this spread to be static or rigid. This should have a little bit of fun and a lot of insight. So for row 1, we're looking at where should my Healerite friends go from here? And what areas of their lives should they be focusing in on? And of course, if you want, you could have an extra row and bring each question in on its own row. But because they were so connected, I just decided that they should go in one row. Feel free to add an extra row if you have the table space and if you'd like. It's all up to you. Affirmations for growth. We need to be open to this. Our ego likes to shut us down. It likes to cause stagnation and tether us to where we're at, so that we're not open to this growth. Setting those intentions really does go a long way in opening you up for new possibilities, and if done in the right way, opens you up for that guidance. Remember that the high vibrational beings are bound by the universal law of free will. We have to ask them to help us out. And that can be easily done in an affirmation. I am ready to grow, I'm open to these possibilities, and I would really like my high vibrational support team and any high vibrational being to support me in my endeavors. Opens you up, brings you in the support that you need. Those affirmations and intentions, they go a long way in, setting us up right for this growth, for these opportunities and possibilities that are all around us. Plant seeds. Part of our experience is planting more seeds. The guidance, the support we're receiving, that playful and inquisitive energy, asking questions, being open to opportunities and possibilities, being open to self and all our amazing gifts and talents. That openness and, inquisitive energy, it goes a long way in planting more seeds and exploring and experiencing more in this lifetime. We need to be active participants in our life so we get the most out of this journey. And to do that, we start to plant seeds. Just like you plant seeds in your children, you start to plant seeds within yourself, inspiring you and igniting that excitement and anticipation in what you're doing. Give in to passion. We all have amazing passion centers, aspects and pieces that bring us joy and happiness. When we participate in them, we find time starts to fly by, our physical and mental well-being rises because we have that flood of joy and happiness. We also find that we get out of our head, we get out of that stuckness because we are getting into that love and happiness and high vibration. Additionally, a lot of times when we're participating in these activities, we get inspiration to solutions and conclusions that are going to support us in our challenges that we're facing. A lot of times when people are really struggling, I tell them, I want you to be creative. Tap into that passion. Get out of your head, get out of your way, so you get that guidance and support from the high vibrational beings. They're going to give you that answer when you're not so hyper-focused in on your problem. That creativity and passion goes a long way in your growth and helping you to resolve the situations and problems you're currently dealing with. Also will help with that health because, again, you're flooding yourself with that love and happiness. We find that physical ailments start to lessen, our mental health starts to improve, and of course, our spiritual being soars. We're going to go on to our row 2, and in this row, I'm going to be using the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. And the question that we're going to be looking at, what will support my Healerite friends most in their growth and development? Dissipating. Like I said earlier, we need to be active participants in our lives. When we idly watch our world go by, we're missing out on these amazing opportunities. We're missing out on that connection. We miss out on so much when we're not participating in our lives. We need to take hold of what's happening and make some decisions that are in our best interest, rather than just what other people think we should do, or what is the norm. Is that norm in your best interest and greatest good? Is it high vibrational? It's in that decision making where we're active participants in making those decisions where we're going to gain that fulfillment. We're going to gain better understanding and attachment to what we're doing. Isolation. We need to be very mindful that we're not reverting back to that isolated standpoint where we're trying to do everything alone. We were never meant to do this journey alone, and we shouldn't try. The unfortunate part is that many of us are under added restriction, so that isolation isn't even our doing. We're trying to uphold people's health and respect them and their well-being. We need to use our creativity to connect in. Our physical support team is just as important as our spiritual. Taking time and making sure that we don't forget our physical, family, friends, and supports. Reaching out, connecting in, and sharing in some love and, of course, some play. That playful energy is needed almost globally now. We're really being weighed down by what's happening globally, and that burn is being felt everywhere. Having some fun, having a laugh, especially as the holiday season is being kicked off. We need to keep everybody's health and well-being in mind and ensure everyone stays happy and healthy. Now, to end off this, To end off this reading, I'm going to use the Food Fortune Tarot. Thinking of it as a cherry on top of this reading, we're going to look at what things that we've missed and need to remember during our journey. I love this deck. I know it's not a technical deck, but it is just so much fun. It goes back into that play and having a bit of fun. And yes, chocolate. So we can't forget the chocolate, that sweet indulgence. Like I said, that laughter, that fun, and that treat is so important. We get wrapped up in that isolation, and then we start to disconnect and dissociate ourselves from our lives. Remembering that we need to reward ourselves. We need to have that amazing treat, that laughter and play. It does go such a long way in connecting into that fulfillment of our journey. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I had fun making it. I also hope that you found some insight and guidance into Thanksgiving and what we have to feel grateful for. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more amazing coming your way, especially over the next 6 weeks, that the best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight and wisdom is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page. I have lots of tiers and perks, and of course, those perks, you're looking at free readings and healings. Additionally, I also have a library of Patreon exclusive videos just for my supporters. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my Healerite friends. Hello and welcome, my Auralite friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of all the tarot and oracle cards, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's get into this gratitude spread and see what insight it needs to share with my Auralite friends. Of course, we're going to start off on question 1. What is going right in my Auralite friends' lives? The Star. What a beautiful card. Of course, we're looking at your hopes and dreams. Anytime you see that star, you're looking at your hopes and dreams. And here, things are going right. We're seeing a better alignment of what you want to do and where you should be going. That alignment, it means a lot. When we're functioning from a non-aligned existence, we have that unbalanced and unstable environment. We're creating it within ourselves and around us. The more aligned we are with our soul's deeper purpose and what brings us joy and happiness, well, the higher our vibration and the more balanced we are. This is what's going right. In our hearts of hearts, we know where we need to be. We know what we need to be doing. And in some cases, we know how. Not everyone may have that how, but we do have an idea of where we need to go. Focusing in on where we need to go and what brings you joy. Giving yourself time to participate in those activities that bring you joy and happiness. That will help with the how. Getting out of your head and getting out of your way will help decipher how you need to go forward. The important aspect being is that your hopes and dreams, well, they're more aligned than they have been in the past. They may still continue to move and shift, and that's okay. We need to use our creativity and our flexibility to ensure that we maneuver our hopes and dreams into alignment to that soul's deeper purpose. And we can do that, of course, through active participation. Doing and experiencing go a long way in helping align us, because we have a better understanding and we're learning with hands-on experience. Let's go on to question 2. What areas of my Auralite friends' lives are they ignoring? However, they should be focusing in on. This deck is really hard to shuffle. I love it. It's beautiful. It's a pain in the butt to shuffle though. The 5 of Earth, also known as the 5 of Pentacles. It's our connection card. That connection to the universe and to our supports. We're feeling disconnected. We're feeling that burn. We're ignoring it because it does bring in that fear, those what ifs. We need to be focusing in on that connection, because it's that connection that's going to help us realign ourselves to our hopes and dreams with our soul's deeper purpose. It's going to help us overcome some of these obstacles, and what's more, help us to sidestep some of these stumbles that we keep catching ourselves on. That connection to our high vibrational support team, the high vibrational beings, and the universe goes a long way in helping us navigate this amazing lifetime. We have such a small view of what's happening. We can't see those challenges that lie ahead of us. Those high vibrational beings, though, they can. And what's more, they also know where all those minefields are. They're going to help sidestep and direct us into something that has less of a punch, less of a physical thud than we're currently dealing with. In October, I did a number of meditations to help you connect into the various members of your high vibrational support team. It's a fantastic opportunity to connect in with these amazing beings. And yes, I brought them out in October when the veil was thinner. However, you can still use these meditations. They're still just as effective. You are just going to be working with that veil at its normal density. And that's good, because we need to know how to maneuver through that veil and work with those high vibrational beings on an everyday rather than just once a year. So that connection, that's what we need to be focusing in on. Let's go to question 3. What area of my Auralite friends' lives should they be nurturing for their greater good? The 9 of Water. Such a pretty card. And interestingly, we've got the disconnect card of the deck. The Star, which always talks about that balance. And in the original deck, Pamela Coleman Smith drew a maiden who was balancing on one knee on the land and 1 foot on the water. And she has 2 of these jugs where she's pouring energy to the land and to the water. That connection is important. The 9 of Water, or the 9 of Cups. Cups are that intuitive suit. That intuition, again, it's important. Now the 9 of Cups talks about the abundances. We need to work on what's going right. Continue to focus in, nurture aspects in your life that are going right, that things are going well in. Focusing in on that high vibration helps you maintain a high vibrational standpoint, helps you be open to opportunities and possibilities. We can't see these opportunities and possibilities when we're stuck and we're low vibrational. We need to be high vibrational. When we're in that high vibration, that's when that opportunity and possibility just blatantly is radiating in front of you. These opportunities and possibilities will give you different ways to working with your abundances in all aspects of your life, adding that element of creativity into what you're doing so that you're able to build off of what is already an amazing aspect in your life. We need to keep nurturing. We need to keep focusing in on what is going right so that we can see those different aspects and pieces of self continue to evolve and grow, which brings in more abundances and more happiness. And what's more fulfillment in what we're doing. Focusing in on that positive, well, it goes a long way with maintaining that high vibration and being open to all the amazing pieces and aspects, those opportunities and possibilities that are right in our path. And then we're going to go on to question 4. How can my Auralite friends strengthen themselves so that they are more open to this growth? The Page of Earth. We need to have that inquisitive, playful nature of the page, helping us to connect in and find meaning in what we're doing. When we have that fulfillment and meaning in what we're doing, we're more open to more of it. It goes back to when things are going right, we have a tendency to continue to do that because we're being positively rewarded. When we have that fulfillment and connection, well, there's meaning to what we're doing. And that too helps us to be open to more of it. Another aspect of the Page of Pentacles, or the Page of Earth, is that grounded energy. The more stable and grounded we are, the more we're going to be open to new and amazing ideas, alternative ways of what we're doing, so we can add on to what's going right. That grounding and stable energy goes a long way with helping us be flexible, to be creative, and to have less resistance to new. We still have our ego in play, and anytime we have that new, of course, your ego stands up and says no. You get that inner toddler going on. However, the more grounded you are, it's less of a new. Rather, it's more of an alternative. It's an added benefit. So we don't have that anxiety with that big word of new. We don't like change as a species, and that's because our ego doesn't like new and alternative views. However, if it's an addition or an add-on, it's kind of like a bonus, and your ego is less likely to resist it because you are stable, you are calm, and you have a better understanding of what's happening and why you need this. So that's the foundation, what we need to start to focus in on and work on. Let's go on to row 2. Now in my reading in this spread, we're going to use alternative decks. I've got a number of decks because I love my tarot decks. Some ladies do shoes, I do decks. Anyway, I've got a lot of different tarot and oracle decks that I can add together for a different picture. If you're doing this spread on your own, feel free to use the same deck. We don't have a lot of cards that we're adding. In the average and normal tarot deck, you have a minimum of 78 cards. A lot of oracle decks, they're averaging, I think, between 45 to 52. I've never seen a deck have less than 12 cards, so you should have enough. Feel free to play with it. I don't want this spread to be traditional and very static. I want it to be fun and meaningful. That connection is important. So now I'm going to go into row 1. And For that row, I'm going to use my Everyday Witches Oracle. And we're going to look at where my Auralite friends should go from here and what areas of their life should they be focusing in on. Oh, the star's getting beaten around. Okay. There's a problem when you have these really big, beautiful cards. They take up a lot of space. Tears of joy and sadness. Very important card. We need to be working on that healing. Releasing those sad, fearful energies and connections that are binding us to this space, causing stagnation, and focusing in on that happiness. We don't want false here. We want true to self and true to what we're doing. When we focus in on the positive and have that connection, that's when that growth will occur. Right now, we're so stuck with that sadness and heartache. We need to take time to release that heartache. Heal that aspect of self so that we're more open to that happiness and that joy. And we're able to embrace it with an open heart. Imagine and envision. Goes back to our hopes and dreams. We are the ones who are limiting ourselves. Our ego and our beliefs in self are limiting us on what we can truly see about our hopes and dreams. Like I said earlier, our hopes and dreams, they're still going to evolve and shift as we realign ourselves more fully with our soul's deeper purpose. The more we're open to these amazing ideas and thoughts, and of course, the guidance of our support team, the more we're going to find that alignment occurring faster and with less resistance. We're going to be open to it, and it's not going to be so new and scary. It's going to be exciting and fun. The problem being, right now, we don't trust in our abilities. We don't trust in ourselves enough to trust in the information that's coming forward. Fire Magic. What a beautiful card. Of course, what we're looking at here is that courage, that determination, that inner flame. We need to allow it to burn bright. Connecting into it, allowing it to erupt and guide our path. We can't back down. We want to connect in more fully and have that abundance and fulfillment that we need in our lifetime and this journey. It's going to be important that we connect into that inner fire, our courage, our determination to continue our growth and evolution. The more we connect in with ourselves and that inner flame, the more we're going to trust ourselves, because we're going to have that understanding of self. We're going to see our skills and abilities, well, in action. We're going to see how we're overcoming things and how things continue to follow that prosperous and abundant wavelength. The universe enjoys rewarding us for our hard work and will continue to do so the more we connect in and work on ourselves. So that's what we need to focus in on. That's row 1. We're going to head into row 2, and I'm going to use the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. In row 2, what will support my Auralite friends most in their growth and their development. Complacency. Like I said before, we need to have that active participation. When we're just watching the world pass us by, we're missing out on that opportunity to do some work, to connect in, and, well, of course, see and reap the rewards of our hard work, that abundance, that fulfillment that follows suit. We need that active participation so that we are able to make the changes and shifts that we need, working on ourselves, healing ourselves, connecting into our skills and abilities so we understand ourselves more, will help us not only to overcome the obstacles we're dealing with right now, but in the long run, for the obstacles to come, to the aspects and pieces that we want to learn from and experience. That understanding of self really does go a long way in helping us with that fulfillment and, of course, strengthening our manifestation skills, which brings about the aspects and pieces that we need. Like I said earlier, the universe likes to reward us for our hard work. Trickery. This connects back into our ego, making sure that we're not being duped or misleaded by our ego. That fear, that heartache. It's so easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of what if, and oh my God. We need to focus in on what's going right. And when we get those anxious feelings or those sad feelings, we put them into check. We need to use our head to balance out our heart. Where do those feelings come from? And how are they serving you right now? Focusing in on aspects that are going right, on those creative and passion-based aspects. They help to get us out of our head, out of those fears and heartache, and into that creativity, allowing that universal energy, those high vibrational beings, to help move you forward, bring in the solutions and answers that we need, that we haven't thought of, and usually aren't in our scope of reality because, well, we're too caught up in what's happening in our everyday. Our vibration isn't high enough. That's how the universe supports us. It rewards us positively for our positive work. We get the answers we need, we get the solutions that will help us over that challenge, helping us to grow and break patterns that are causing that stagnation, that amplify that heartache and fear. So there's a lot that you can be grateful for in your life and that you can focus in on. Now, to end off this spread, and it's not in my technical spread, it's just something that I want to do, I'm going to end off this reading by pulling a card from the Food Fortune Tarot. I love this deck. It's not a technical deck. It's a lot of fun, and it's kind of the cherry on top. We're going to look at what we've missed and need to keep in mind as we're working on this amazing journey. The pressed one. How yummy. When was the last time you had a panini? Other than making you hungry, this card should remind you that sometimes adding that extra step really does make your life, your journey, and your sandwich a touch better. Removing those crusts, putting the sandwich or your journey in that press to toast it nicely. We have a tendency to focus in on what we have to do and then do the bare minimum because we feel exhausted. However, when you take time, you slow down, and you do that extra little step for you, for your journey, not only will you gain more fulfillment, but you have more pride in what you're doing. It's an important aspect and element in, well, what we're trying to achieve. It talks about how we can better ourselves in going forward, how we can make that small shift that brings in so much more meaning. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and that you're able to gain some insight and direction into gratitude and all that's going right in your life. I want to wish, of course, my American friends a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It really does help people find me on the sea of YouTube and helps to expand our community, strengthen us, and start to see that shift happen on the global level. The more of us who are working on ourselves and raising that vibration, the better we're gonna be. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more coming your way, especially in the next 6 weeks. It's gonna be fantastic, my friends. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. If you enjoyed this video and you want to support me in making more, I also have a Patreon page. I have lots of tiers and perks, and those perks, of course, you're looking at free readings and healings from me. Plus, I also have a Patreon exclusive library of videos just for my supporters. I've provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my Auralite friends.